Little enough for me to go by. But gradually I found myself worrying about Letty and Mark. They didn't seem to be hitting it off. Oh, on the surface everything was smooth. But I was haunted by a premonition of what I didn't know. It was only a nameless dread of something, some undercurrent of feeling. Letty's nerves were getting no better. In fact, she seemed more tense, more frightened than ever. Yet she was making an effort to meet Mark halfway. Many times I saw them out sailing. Only when Letty returned after a day on the water, she seemed pinched and white. While Mark appeared to be glowing with vitality, Letty grew paler, more distracted. I realized suddenly that she was a middle-aged woman. One day in town, I met them in the general store. They'd been quarreling.
But I tell you, Mark, you're just imagining it. I hate to have that stuff around, as you very well know. You read all kinds of stories about the way it gets mixed up in food.
Oh, nonsense.
Well, I'm sure there aren't any rats around the boathouse. I'd know if there were. I'm simply terrified of them. But I can't bear thinking of having poison around. Why, I'd be worried all the time.
Oh, Letty, for heaven's sake, stop being childish. I didn't put traps around because you didn't want them. Now that I'm trying to get rid of them in another way, you make a scene. I don't see why we have to go into a 3-act tragedy just because I want to buy some rat poison.
Hello, you two.
Oh, hello, Alden.
Why, Philip, how nice to see you. Mark and I were just doing a little shopping.
Philip, will you do me a favor?
Hmm?
Will you please reason with Letty and try to get some sense into her head?
Say, wait a minute. This sounds serious.
Well, it isn't really. But, Philip, you know my nerves and the way things upset me, and Mark just doesn't understand. Oh, I know I'm just a silly woman, but the doctor says I have to be humored. And now Mark is so unreasonable, and it's such a little thing.
Of course it's a little thing, and that's why I can't understand your attitude. Now, look here, Philip. The boathouse is infested with rats. Wouldn't you say the obvious course of action would be to get rid of them?
Why, of course.
But poison, rat poison. Oh, Philip, don't you see how horrible it is? I mean, accidents do happen. I've always hated to have anything like that around just in case.
I've heard of children eating this stuff by accident. But you two people can take care of yourselves. Frankly, Letty, I think you're making a fuss over nothing.
Yes, that's right, Philip. That's just what I told her.
Well, very well then. But if I'm found dead, I hope you realize you'll both be under suspicion.
Seemed a foolish quarrel at the time. Yet when I left them, I kept hearing Letty's voice.
Very well, then. But if I'm found dead... Very well, then. But if I'm found dead... Very well, then. But if I'm found dead...
Suddenly, a monstrous idea occurred to me. I wondered if Letty had been trying to warn me. And then the horrible suspicion broke. All the trifling things began to add up. Letty's nervousness, her fear of sailing with Mark, her terror of having the poison in the house. But why? Why should she be afraid of Mark? What motive had he? And then I knew. I had helped to give him the motive when I drew up Letty's will. Yet my whole case was founded on thin air, figment of a nervous imagination. I had to be sure. I had to keep an eye on them. I found myself making excuses to drop by at their cottage.
Who is it, Letty? Who's there?
It's Philip.
Oh, Philip. Well.
Hello?
You're almost getting to be a member of the family.
Well, I just thought I'd ask you to help me eat the first bluefish of the season. There's too much here for an old bachelor like me.
Why, Philip Alden, if you aren't the most thoughtful person. How perfectly sweet of you. Of course you'll stay to dinner. We'll have a real feast.
Yes. You might as well stay as long as you're here.
Well, thank you. If you're sure I won't be intruding.
Intruding? Why, of course not. And you can help me get the dinner ready.
Well, I'd be glad to, but won't I be in Anna's way?
Anna's gone.
On. Why, I thought you were well satisfied with her.
So we were, Philip. But Anna didn't seem to be satisfied with us. In fact, they've all gone.
Oh?
Yes. Anna and Elsie and Otto, the handyman. They just walked out and left us.
Well, for heaven's sake.
Since the ship and engine place opened on the heights, nobody can keep a servant. Can't blame them myself.
I wonder. I don't believe Anna'd take a job at the ship and engine. Anyhow, it does seem strange they all went at once, doesn't it?
Letty, I do wish you'd stop dramatizing everything. Ship and engine just opened, and the call went out for help. I don't see any mystery in the servants answering. In fact, it's their patriotic duty. And it's our patriotic duty to get along without them.
But it's so lonely here, especially at night.
Now, Letty, you're not living here by yourself, you know.
No, of course not. But all the same, we are isolated. Just the two of us. And you know how tricky my nerves are. I always feel so much better if the servants are around. After all, if anything were to happen, and anything might happen...
Letty, this isn't getting us any closer to our dinner.
Oh, of course. Now, you boys wear these aprons.
Oh.
Philip, since it's your fish, you may have the honor of cooking it.
All right, you asked for it. It'll be your funeral.
Now, Philip, Mark, you hold the berries for the dessert. I'll do the vegetables and set the table.
Well, for a seasoned bachelor, this dinner's a rare treat, Letty.
Oh, I'm so glad you enjoyed it, Philip. Oh, I don't deserve the credit. That bluefish was simply delicious. How did you manage to catch it all by yourself? I always think men are so wonderful.
Well, I'll be glad to take you both the next time I go fishing. It's good fun. Fresh air would be good for you, Letty.
Oh, no, I couldn't. Well, I'm still just a wee bit nervous about the water. So I tried terribly hard, haven't I, Mark?
Yes.
I'll be good about the sailing. But you know I'm learning to manage the Artemis all by myself, aren't I, Mark? Mm-hmm. I don't write my name in the wake anymore, do I?
Yes, Letty's a real hand at the tiller. She'll be a better sailor than I am soon, you see. You'd have seen her take the Artemis into harbor the other day.
You did, all right?
Yes, she came through that channel with a breeze against her. I wanted to take it over, afraid she'd run into the mud flats. But no, she coaxed it all the way, and we came in under sail.
Yes, and I wanted to do it all by myself, even though I was terrified.
Well, good for you. Why, that's really a splendid accomplishment. I've been negotiating the harbor for years, but I confess that I have trouble every now and then.
Well, since nobody wants any more berries, I guess it's time to do the dishes. Now, I'll show you what a good hand I am as a dishwasher.
Wait a minute. That's my job. Here.
No,
Here.
I'll clean and wash. You two can dry, and you can dry.
Letty, what is it?
Well, you shouldn't have tried to carry that tray.
No, it's not that.
Why, Letty, what's happened to you? You look ghastly.
I'm afraid something I ate.
Here. You better lie down.
Oh, I'll carry her upstairs. Get a doctor, will you?
I'm afraid, Mark. I'm afraid I've been poisoned.
But great heavens, Philip, I just can't believe it. Arsenic, poisoning? Do you think Dr. Potter knows what he's talking about?
I'm sure he does.
Of course, we can't be sure till the tests are made, but I don't see. I don't understand.
It's not very hard to understand. Letty ate arsenic. How or where she got it, we don't know, but it's not difficult to guess.
But we all ate the same meal, you and I and she. Why, good Lord, Philip. Do you think we're poisoned, too?
I feel perfectly all right. You appear to be comfortable. I think we'd feel it by now.
But then how on earth
Let's be perfectly logical about it. We all ate the bluefish.
Yes.
I prepared it. We all had potatoes and string beans. Letty cooked those.
Yes.
Then we all ate strawberries. You prepared them.